Hello everyone and welcome back to this series of videos on the Solow Growth Model. Specifically here, we're going to look at the investment equation, so how aggregate investment is defined and why that is the case. To begin with, let's start by looking at how investment is generally defined in economic theory. So we like to say that investment in an open economy is defined as the savings plus imports minus exports. And when we talk about imports minus exports, we mean the trade deficit, or otherwise known as the net capital inflow. What we're basically saying here is that a country's investment can be funded by its own savings, so our main S here, but also by foreign capital, which is defined by the net capital inflow here, by imports minus exports. So when we have endogenous savings, specifically how they're defined in a general economic theory, a decrease in domestic savings, for example, could be easily offset by an increase in the net capital inflow, leaving the domestic investment relatively unchanged. So here, however, again, we are talking about an open economy and not about a closed economy, as it's the case into our Solow growth model. So in our Solow growth model, if we recall from our previous video, we have no international links, so no international trade, so the imports minus exports part in our equation would disappear. And at the same time, we have the saving rate that is defined as exogenous. So it's not determined within the model, but outside the model. Hence, our investment equation, so how our investment is going to be determined, is going to be equal to savings only. So since the imports minus exports part disappears, we know this is not going to be the case anymore. And specifically, how do we define savings? Well, our savings, since they're exogenous, are going to be a constant fraction of output. So the savings rate here, this S, is going to be completely exogenous. Reason why we can finally conclude that investment is going to be equal to savings into our Solow growth model economy.